Every month, right around the 3rd, that auto payment notification hits your phone. You don't even read it anymore, you just feel it land. But here is the secret that notification isn't telling you. The dealership that sold you your car made almost nothing on the actual vehicle. In fact, they probably made less than the cost of a decent set of tires on the metal itself. The car was never the real product. You were, or more specifically, your loan was. Welcome back. Today, we are going to dismantle the great American car buying experience. We are going to expose how the modern auto industry has shifted its massive profits away from the showroom floor and hidden them deep inside your financing contract. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to avoid the traps that keep millions of Americans trapped in a cycle of debt. And I'll show you exactly how to beat the dealership at their own game. Let's talk about a woman named Renee. Renee is smart. She runs a dental practice. When it came time to buy a car, she spent 3 weeks reading reviews, emailing 4 different dealers for quotes, and she successfully talked the dealer down by $2,300. She was incredibly proud of that negotiation. But here's the problem. Renee won the least important negotiation in the entire building. For the last 40 years, the car business has trained us to fixate on the sticker price of the car. We think that if we knock a couple of grand off the asking price, we've won. But the front-end gross profit, the money the dealer makes on the actual vehicle, has completely collapsed. Instead, nearly 3/4 of a dealership's variable gross profit now comes out of the finance and insurance office. That's the little room in the back you get sent to after you think the deal is done. The 4-square illusion. To understand how they get you, you have to understand a psychological tool called the 4-square worksheet. You'll find it at almost every dealership in America. It's a piece of paper with 4 boxes: the price of the new car, the value of your trade-in, your down payment, and your monthly payment. Its purpose isn't to organize your deal. Its purpose is to take 4 entirely separate financial transactions and smash them together into one confusing conversation. If you apply pressure to the price of the car, the salesman just shifts the numbers around, inflating your interest rate or lowering your trade-in value, all while keeping the monthly payment looking exactly the same. It's a shell game, and you're blindfolded.
The negative equity trap. Let's look at the second box on that sheet, your trade-in. This is where a guy named Hector lives. Hector drives for work and trades in his car for a new one roughly every 20 months. When Hector went to buy his second car, he owed $4,000 more on his old Chevy Malibu than it was worth. He was underwater. The salesman looked at him and said something that sounded like a massive favor. "Don't worry about it. We'll just roll it into the new loan." Hector didn't write a check. He didn't feel the sting of losing $4,000. It felt completely invisible. But what actually happened is that the dealer added the $4,000 he still owed on the car he was leaving behind to the principal of his new loan. He was now paying interest for 72 months on a car he no longer owned. 2 years later, Hector did it again. The hole was now $7,000 deep. This is called rolled negative equity, and it is the closest thing consumer finance has to a chain letter. It resolves the discomfort of your current bad loan by making your next loan a total disaster. Today, more than 28% of new car trade-ins carry negative equity. People are driving sensible sedans that are secretly holding the debt of 3 ghosts of cars past. The danger of the 84-month loan. So, how do dealers hide all this negative equity? How do they keep the monthly payment down when car prices are through the roof? They stretch the loan. A decade ago, a 7-year, 84-month car loan barely existed. Today, nearly 1 in 4 new car buyers signs one. These super long loans weren't invented because consumers demanded them. They were invented because car prices ran away from American incomes, and the finance guys had to find a way to make the monthly payment look palatable. Here is the brutal math. If you finance $42,000 at 7% for 60 months, you'll pay about $7,900 in interest. Stretch that exact same loan to 84 months, and your monthly payment drops by about $130, but your total interest paid climbs to over $11,300. But the interest isn't even the worst part. The worst part is the depreciation. A new car loses roughly 16 to 20% of its value in the first year. That loss happens immediately. But auto loans are amortized, meaning your early payments are mostly interest. For the first 2 years, your principal barely moves. When you take out an 84-month loan, the gap between what the car is worth and what you owe on it stays wide open for almost the entirety of the loan. You are trapped. Dealer reserve, the hidden markup. Let's move to the next trick. When you finance through a dealership, you probably think they are lending you the money. They aren't. They are just middlemen.
They send your credit application to a bank or a credit union. That bank looks at your credit score and says, okay, we will approve this guy at a 5% interest rate. That is called the buy rate. But the dealer never shows you the buy rate. They add a markup to it, say 2%, and present you with a sell rate of 7%. This markup is called dealer reserve. It is highly discretionary. It's literally just the finance manager deciding how much extra money they want to squeeze out of you. A single percentage point of markup on a $40,000 loan over 60 months will cost you nearly $1,000 out of pocket. When the finance manager says, let me go see what rate I can get you, he isn't negotiating on your behalf. He is deciding how much to upcharge you. The F&I room. Which brings us to the final boss of the car dealership, the finance and insurance F&I office. This is where our smart buyer, Renee, got taken for a ride. It's late on a Thursday evening. She's been at the dealership for 5 hours. She is exhausted, and she's led into a small office. The manager slides a laminated menu across the desk. It has columns labeled good, better, best. This menu is packed with overpriced add-ons, extended warranties priced at double or triple what you'd pay directly from a provider, gap coverage, which pays the difference if your car is totaled while you're underwater on the loan. You can buy this from your own auto insurer for $150 to $400, but in this room, it's $600 to $1,200. Paint protection for $600, which is often just a cheap sealant on top of a factory finish. Then etching for $300, which is basically a $20 DIY kit. Because Renee is tired, and because the manager quotes all these items not as total dollars, but as just $41 a month, she says yes. What she doesn't realize is that $41 a month over 72 months equals nearly $3,000, plus the interest she is now paying to finance it. None of the prices in this room are real dollars. They are illusions built on monthly increments.
How to win the game. So, the system is rigged. The structure is designed to extract maximum wealth from you while making it feel like a minor monthly inconvenience. But you can beat it. Let's talk about a woman named Alea who bought the exact same car as Renee just 11 days later, but paid $4,300 less. Delea didn't yell. She didn't use aggressive confrontation. She just followed 4 simple, ironclad rules. Rule 1. Pre-approve your financing. Delea walked into the dealership with a pre-approved auto loan from her local credit union. Because she already had her own money, the dealer couldn't mark up her interest rate. Dealer reserve had nothing to attach itself to. If the dealer could legitimately beat her credit union's rate, great, but she held the power. Rule 2. Never discuss the monthly payment. When the salesman asked, "What kind of monthly payment are you looking for?" Delea ignored the premise. She just kept answering with a different question. What is the out-the-door cash price of this vehicle? She refused to play the 4-square game. Rule 3. Keep the transactions separate. She negotiated the absolute lowest out-the-door price of the car first. She got it in writing. Only then did she mention she had a trade-in, and she already had 2 written cash offers for her old car from outside buyers. She forced the dealer to beat those offers fairly. Rule 4. Say no to the menu. Because Delea took a standard 60-month loan and put real money down, she wasn't going to be underwater on her loan. Therefore, she didn't even need gap insurance. Even if she did, she already knew she could get it from her auto insurance company for a fraction of the cost. She declined all the F&I room add-ons. Between the rate markup, the inflated gap insurance, the overpriced warranty, and the extra 24 months of interest that Renee agreed to, Delia saved $4,300 on the exact same vehicle. If she invested that $4,300 savings at a 7% return, in 30 years it would be worth nearly $34,000.
Conclusion. If you are watching this right now and you're realizing you have negative equity rolled into your car, or you are stuck in an 84-month loan at an 11% interest rate, I need you to know something very important. You did not do something stupid. You met a ruthless market exactly where it stood. You pulled the only lever you were given. There is no evil villain twisting their mustache at the dealership. It is just a system of people whose bonuses are tied to making your loan as expensive as legally possible. But you are not entirely stuck. If your credit score is in the 700s and you are trapped in a high-interest auto loan, the move right now is not to feel bad. The move is to look into refinancing your car with a credit union. It takes 20 minutes, and it is the single best way to undo the damage of a hidden dealer markup. On the 3rd of next month, when that auto payment notification pops up on your phone, don't just dismiss it. Open it. Look at the rate. Look at the principal. Because the person sitting across from you at that desk never sold you a car. They sold you a payment. It's time you take control of it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe and share this video with anyone you know who is heading to a dealership this weekend. Stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one.